As I am now into my 7th decade of life, my consideration of history continues to build from a complete indifference as a child to one of intense interest and appreciation today. And near to the top of that list is a fascination with anything to do with science history. So when I visited this little-known astronomical history site on the edge of Tokyo, I was mesmerized. The National Astronomical Observatory of Japan has a documented history dating back to the late 1800s, with Japan's first major observatory dome shown in the photograph here on the right. The site I am showing in this video dates to the early 1900s, and at that time, the location used to be on the edge of Tokyo under dark skies, but now it is under the Bortle Class 9 light dome of the metropolitan area. Hence, this place is no longer used for visual imaging. However, some long wavelength research is still done here. And it is also a major site for NAOJ computational and theoretical astrophysics research. An English guide map is available, and the site is open to the public to freely visit and wander around the unattended historical buildings throughout the grounds. When I was there on a weekday afternoon for the first time, I was the only sightseer for most of that time. The first building I visited happened to be the oldest one constructed, built in 1921. It housed a 20-centimeter aperture Carl Zeiss refractor that was installed here in 1927. The use and setup of this telescope is for solar observations. You can see there is no eyepiece, but rather a projection screen onto which the target is focused. I read that the equatorial mount is mechanically powered by a wind-up weight system and a governor that can track celestial objects for about 1.5 hours without electric power. The biggest telescope here is housed in this large dome building. It too contains a Carl Zeiss refractor from around 1929 that is over 10 meters long and 65 centimeters in aperture. I started exploring it first on the lower level to check out the base and learned that the ceiling above me was a movable floor for the telescope that could rise in height to allow astronomers to comfortably stand or sit when looking through the eyepiece, no matter what the telescope's viewing angle. There were 3 massive counterweights visible down here that provided the leverage to raise and lower the floor, presumably with early period electrical motors of that time. Oh my goodness. I was mesmerized at the scale, precision, and beauty of this immense astronomical instrument that was nearly 100 years old. The precision engineering to control the mass of this thing had to be incredible for that time period. Look at that equatorial mount. Oh my goodness. The dome is made out of wood. Historic, beautiful, artistic, amazing. Jeez, so many adjectives. These are photographic plates that were used to take images of the stars. Oh, a long time ago. In the 1920s, basically. This is a prism spectrophotometer. I visited a number of other museums and old buildings stocked with retired machines and telescopes, including this interesting structure which had a fixed roof but sliding panels to allow sky observations only along the north-south meridian line. The telescopes and equipment in here reminded me of Nikola Tesla time period, with an interesting Jules Verne or steampunk feel to it. The central cannon-like telescope dates to 1888, and I surmise it was used to watch and measure when certain celestial objects crossed the meridian line to mark the passage of time on a daily, monthly, and annual basis with extreme precision. There was a 10-meter radio telescope dish here for long wavelength observation of I don't know what, frankly.
That's a 6 millimeter wave radio scope made in 1970. One more building back here.
And nearby to that was another old Meridian canopy building that was currently being used as a museum to house many bits and pieces of decades-old to century-old astronomical equipment, including several massive and impressive Nikon telescopes that I found particularly exciting.
Nikon. Check it out, there's a Nikon. 20 centimeter Nikon refractor. You just gotta love these old science instrument museums. They're so cool.
From my visit here to the Mitaka location of the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan, I learned there has been a considerable astronomy science history here, much of it being contributed by Kyoto and Tokyo universities in the very early days. Even some old ukiyo-e woodblock prints from the Edo period have depicted astronomical instruments and celestial events like comets in the Edo period art. Today, NAOJ is an active organization with a $100 million budget and a staff of over 500 persons dedicated to astronomical research. They have built and controlled telescopes all over the world, including the Subaru telescope in Hawaii and a new 30-meter reflector telescope with James Webb-like adaptive optics under construction now on Mauna Kea at the current time. This site in Tokyo is engaged in international astrophysics computational and modeling collaborations with many foreign researchers working or visiting here. Please check out the links provided if you want to learn more from the NAOJ website or the descriptive video provided by this institution. Both English and Japanese versions are available. And if you're ever in Japan, I highly recommend you stop by and see this place for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this brief glimpse of Japan history, culture, and science in the world of astronomy. I live in Yokohama, Japan. My hobbyist moniker is Japan Astro Guy, or JP Astro Guy. Thanks for watching Astrophotography Japan. My name is Paul Cheesegel, and I am an astrophotographer.